You know, for guys who know there was. Why did somebody bring this? What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday.
You know, it's time to say to me.
Y'all, we are going to get started. We are right on time, aren't we, Emmy? 2 minutes behind. Emmy, do you want to pull? Everybody. Good. Is it holding you? Yeah. You know what? We're going to turn the end up right now. Stand up. We're going to just start stretching it out, right? Welcome, you guys. We're glad to be back. This is your family reunion recap today. And come on. Tuesday team meeting. Here we go. Come on.
All right, well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here on time. So, if you're giving away a hair review card, and like I said last week, you can give me a business card, you get double entries. I don't want to hear that paper win every time. So regardless, your name's in there.
Shake.
All right. So, the winner is
That is your power. That is the power of coffee of the week. All right. Now we have Gratitude Tuesday. Let's share. Anybody have something this week to be grateful for? Todd.
So thank you, Lynn, for filling in for us while everybody was gone last week at family reunion. He was here Saturday.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate that. That was a good day. I am thankful to be back and on schedule. Family reunion is fantastic, but being back, being in routine, getting up, going to the gym, and getting to the office feels good. When for 5 or 6 days you're like, okay, where do I gotta be? And when do I gotta be there? And where's the after that? So grateful to be back with you guys as well. All right, go ahead.
being able to like listen to so many people work. This is how I run this, so you do it, but you do it, just
That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing. Anybody else have something they want to be thankful, grateful for this week? Warmer weather. What is it? Warmer weather just brings more homes on the market. All right, well, Sean, we're just gonna get at it. All right, today's sponsor is our friend Lincoln. Bring it on down.
Apparently today is a coffee day because I have lots of coffee cards to give out. So we're gonna play a quick little game. Everybody ready? Okay. Everybody stand up, please. I promise I won't be. It's really easy question. All right. So if you answer no to any of these questions, sit down. There might be a couple of you actually.
Are you a licensed real estate professional? Rico goes, you're not licensed? Just sit down.
So.
It is a no. Oh, you are, okay. That's okay.
That's the next question.
Sit down if you have not showed the house or met a seller so far this year. Sit down if you have not written a contract. Buyer or seller. This year. Sit down if you have not met. Good, okay, and sit down if you have not set the lead gen goal for yourself for 2025. Nobody would sit down on that one. Fantastic. With all of this, and I know we talk about this, and I usually talk about this every time, because I really don't like to talk about interest rates and that sort of fun stuff. I have to do that for every other second of my day in my job. Happy to do that one-on-one, but as a math, public service announcement, we can talk about that later. Fantastic, okay, so I have a gift card for every single person that is a licensed real estate agent in this room, so you can take that money and go meet a buyer, meet a seller, meet a new referral partner, go write it on. And if you need to, sit your butt at a coffee shop and lead gen in 2025. That is my gift to you for this year, because I think that is gonna be a really good year.
Thank you so much. We, as I say, we are grateful for the relationships that we have, and the way that they pour into us. And again, like I say this again and again and again, we were very specific when we chose who we wanted to work. This wasn't a conversation, and it wasn't necessarily about, hey, we're gonna give you this. It was, how are you treating your clients? How do you work with real estate agents to help them? And I'm very grateful to be in business with professionals that legitimately care about that. On that same wavelength, Ringa has got reverse mortgages. How many of you understand the reverse mortgage? How many of you understand how you could use that to have conversations with people, right? Probably even the viewers. So this is a great opportunity for you to add additional tools to your tool belt, right? Having conversations about things like reverse mortgages allows you to be a resource when somebody comes and says to you, this is my situation. I need somebody to help me understand how I can get here, right? This is one of those conversations. So if you want to put a good tool in your tool belt for conversations you should be having, maybe just one quick question. Who is most likely to use a reverse mortgage?
Baby.
And how old are baby boomers? And what are baby boomers going to do in the next 10 years? Retire. And what does that mean for the market? That means that with people retiring, right, they need to have decisions on what's next. That also means more opportunities in the marketplace, right? So if you're not having these conversations and they don't know and they don't have a resource for this, they're going to stay in their house longer than they should. They're going to have to do work longer than they should, right? And so having this conversation allows you to be able to go to them with some options and what is best for them. At the same time, knowing that you have the right connections, the right affiliate partnerships so that you can offer something like this. So this afternoon, you guys are directly following this meeting, 12:45 to 1:45, right here with Brandon. Go. How's that make y'all feel? Feel something? All right. Anybody else? How does it make you feel? One, oh, I thought I was ready to leave a team leader role and go back to selling.
No, good.
Right? Don't tell my boss. No. Well, I'll start here. I think that we sometimes forget why we're in business with the people that we're in business with. And sometimes the market is difficult, when your transactions are difficult, when your buyers and sellers are difficult. Sometimes we have the tendency to feel alone and to buckle, right? To stop doing the things that we know been taught will work, but don't always do that, right? The word for us this year is something that's simple. Word is for the team leaders in my role, it's not something that is inspiring. It is not something that is over the top. It is something that is very doable. My word for the year is accountability, right? That's what we're doing. So the question that I have with that video is, if it stirs something in you and you want something different out of your business this year, I just spent 6 days in the desert with 10,000 professionals that are really thriving. Now, they all might not be experiencing it on the same level, but they are thriving. So I want to take this minute. Mao and Rico, come on down. I don't know that they all knew this. Rico loves this sort of thing. Yeah, but yesterday, I think I got something else to do. All right, come on down, y'all. So here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna talk about family reunion, and I'm gonna sit on one of these chairs with y'all. You wanna take the outside one? All right, Mao, you get the middle one. The one that's the highest up right now. Wow.
Too.
Oh. Now you're gonna like. So you guys got back and we all went to some different things. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start out, I'm gonna pass the mic to Mao. And the first question I'm gonna ask is, what's the one takeaway that you took from family reunion that you're going to implement specifically for your business?
Yes, I feel a lot, but I think the overall message that I got from family union is it's something that we heard over and over already. Consistency is key, right? And I was able to sit on some of the sessions, and I feel like a lot of them is that it doesn't matter farming or doing open house or flyer filtering. I think it's just like focus on one thing and do it to the fullest and be consistent. And every time you do it better. And I think that that's the takeaway home message for me is continue to be consistent in whatever we do, lead gens, because there's so many ways to lead gens, and we just really have to be, sticking to it and then do it better each time.
Thank you. Rick, what about you?
Mine was kind of be the same. It's like just taking one thing and focusing on that. So that was kind of like my one takeaway from there. It was like picking one thing, literally just focusing on one thing and kind of mastering it. And then kind of like, once you lock in and get that kind of honed in, it's like a habit instead of like, oh, I gotta get up to lead gen. It's kind of like, all right, I got this down, and let me add to my pillar so you can get 3, but really just focus on the one and go from there.
The thing that I felt, I'm gonna give kind of an overview of what I felt of this. I feel a lot of times when I go to family reunion, I can get an understanding of the market around the country by some of the conversations that I'm having. That's one thing, but I also get a feeling from people, right? I've been to 16 family reunions, and I get a feeling out of all of them. I get that feeling. This year, the feeling was of hope and opportunity, right? This year, there was more excitement in the room. The conversations I was having outside of those rooms were about the opportunities that are coming, the opportunities they're seeing in other parts of their business, differentiating themselves right now by being consistent, right? By showing up. The agents that I'm talking to will all say this, especially the ones that are doing it at a high level. If you talk to high level performers, oftentimes they seem to downplay the unicorn moments, right? Where agents who are underperforming oftentimes are relying on unicorn moments to change their business. A unicorn moment is when you get somebody that's gonna buy a $1.7 million house, right? A unicorn moment is when an investor calls and says, hey, I have all this money, we're gonna do this together. Those happen, sure. But the reality is that being around these performers who are producing at, 60, 70, 80, 100, 150 million, 350 million, they're not depending on a unicorn to save their business. They're depending on the activities that are happening every single day to close 10, 12, 15 a month. And to be fair, you guys have said it before, there's nothing special about the people that are doing this, except what is the one special thing? They're just doing it, right? They're not getting up in the morning and thinking, oh, I really don't want to do this. Because most mornings we don't want to do it, right? Until we do, until you accept that this is a part of the process. And if you don't do this, the natural outcome to it is your business is not going to grow. You're going to be frustrated, and eventually you're going to decide that this isn't for you, right? So the thing I will leave this conversation with is be consistent at something, right? Show up. Build consistency. The first thing I said I was grateful for is to be home and back in the swing of things, right? Getting up in the morning, going to the gym, drinking water more instead of other things that they give you to drink in the desert, right? And so all of the things, cactus water, whatever, right? All of the things come back to the consistency in my business. So the question I leave you with for yourself is, what consistencies do you have in your business that you do, that you are habits? And how many times do you give up on that? That's going to determine the success quotient in your business. It's how often do you quit when it seems like it's too tough, right? How often do you quit when you're just like, I just don't want to do this anymore? Rick, one of the number of the breakout sessions that you were a part of, was there anything in those conversations that stuck out to you?
I'll say I went to the farming class and it was like next level to me. Like some of the stuff these people are doing is like, wow, I can't believe some of the stuff they were doing at farm. But while I was at the blackjack table getting robbed by the dealer, I was talking to an agent in Michigan and she kind of gave me like a good idea. It's kind of like farming, but not really. She was like, you go to church. I'm like, yeah. She's like, the cheapest thing to do, but it's marketing. Like get the little fans and put your business stuff on there. So that's kind of like one thing I'm going to implement. And I also talked to a couple of realtors that I met that are cold calling, which is what I'm trying to do, that we're going to be role play partners or whatever every morning, like 15 minutes before we start calling. So I got a group of people that I networked with that we're going to start cold calling with. But it's just like just picking one thing and just focusing on the one thing.
Mal, how about for you? What for some of the breakout sessions that you went to? What's some of the things what's a thing or two that resonated with you that you're like, oh, I've never thought of it like that?
So the last 9 years of my real estate career, I've been doing farming. And I went to one of the farming too, and how to take 50% market share of the farming that you do. And they talk about competitions levels and things like that. But this one panelist, like she stood out and she went above and beyond farming. She is not just sending out newsletters. She's just not sending out monthly mailing, but she took the effort to meet and know the mayor, the city council, the association boards. Like she do a lot of activities in the neighborhood. She farmed in 3 areas, and one of the areas that she doesn't live in, but she take the extra effort to drive there, shop there, hang out with them and things like that. And I thought that was pretty extremes. And again, it just kind of went down to when you focus on doing one thing, master it, do it so well, do it better. And then she talked about competition where this newbie came in and started passing out pumpkins to each neighbor doors, right? And what she did is like how to stop that, she reserved a whole pumpkin farms and had the whole neighbors pick a limited pumpkin, right? So I thought that was like creative, and it's like, how do we start out from our competitions? And to me, I think that's what I'm going to do with our farming too. And some of the things I learned too is lead gen. There's so many types, right? But focus on two things that really bring in you lead gen and do it really well. So for our team, is social media. We get most of our leads from there, and then farming too. So now I'm going to take the effort to actually be in person, not just like all about door knocking, but be involved in the neighborhood and, or if there's no neighborhood page, go create one. So just be very active involved, and she's not about just being once a month, but she is like there almost every time. And the neighborhood that she lived in, she bought some tools, right? Like the ladder, like pressure washer, and she allowed the neighborhood to borrow it from her. And that is another touch. So I thought that was just very creative. So these are some of the ideas that I'm gonna integrate into farming and just be more active and be more involved in the farming that you're planning to target.
And one of them actually started with like, she started farming, but she didn't have enough money, so she said she started literally with 8 houses, closed one deal, reinvested, and just started building from there. So it's not like you gotta come in with a lot of money or farm a whole 2,000 neighborhood or whatever. You just start with, like, she started with 8 and built it all the way up.
Think about that, 8, right? One of the other things, how many of you got a chance to sit in this room and watch the vision speech? Right? What did you take away from that?
One of the things that keeps sticking out of my head is when you made comments about Zillow and other online lead generators, that those names, when they get sold to you, were in somebody else's database. Well, keep in mind that the names that are in your database are being sold to somebody as well. So you lose that, if you lose somebody from your database, that's on you.
Eventually, they're gonna have, most of this, it has to pass legal, and then they're gonna post it, right? Usually within a couple of weeks. Yeah. So it has to go through to make sure that it's in alignment with what our legal counsel says as well. One of the things that I think is important about what we do is not just for the customer, but it's for perspective for you. I'm not gonna assume, and I'm not gonna ask you to raise your hand and tell me if you're fearful about the year or you're positive. What I like about what Gary brings to the stage and is the consistency of his delivery of the numbers, right? Helping us understand how to have that conversation. How do we feel like last year went? Todd has said this before. How do you feel like last year went as a business overall? Quiet? Would you be surprised to know that there was the 3rd best volume year ever? Is that surprising? Because that kind of is mind blowing, right? What does that mean for you guys? Todd's been telling me this all year, but I needed Gary to tell me before I could pay attention. Right? What does this mean? If your business right now is at volume, and we can agree that it does not look like volume is going to shift because prices don't look like they're going to be coming down. What does that mean for you guys? That when transactions come back, your volume is higher, your GCI is higher. We get paid on volume, do we not? And right now, at the 3rd best volume year ever, and probably some of that is because of other market forces. What I took away from that is, Lynn might have even said this before to me. It's okay, Lynn, you can go. But Lynn said this to me privately, is that we need to start telling this success story, right? And so you're finding people around you that are finding success, and you're finding people around you to believe in something. But don't believe in me. Don't believe in what I'm telling you. Believe in somebody that spent the better part of 40 years focusing on how to make your life easier, your client relationships better. When this comes out, we'll make sure that we have a link to it, but give yourself an hour, 90 minutes, grab a cup of coffee, grab a notebook, and listen to the vision speech. Listen to the state of the market. Understand how you can use those slides to help your clients understand where the market is. You don't have to be the person to know all of that, but they do expect that you know what you're talking about and that somebody in your life is advising you on a really high level, right? One of the other things that I wanted to note that I found interesting was the number of back to the basics conversations. Now, back to the basics seems like a word or a phrase I really don't want to use, because I think sometimes it makes you guys think that I'm saying, you know, go do things back to the future. I'm asking you to commit in your business to those activities that make sense, right? So when I sat and listened to a team that did $350 million, right? They started with consistencies that got them to 30 million, that got them to 90 million, that got them to 150 million. All they're doing is leveling up or amplifying their message as they keep growing. Nothing they did is different. It's just more amplified. right? So when you think about a $350 million team, does that make some of you feel like, does that make some of you feel excited? Apprehensive? Like maybe, well, that's good for them, but that's never gonna be me, right? It's okay, let's admit it, right? That's the other thing that Gary talked about, that I would love to go over in a full class. We're gonna have Emmy do it, I think. The Gary's 10 bold truths. Where fear exists, belief can't, right? So if you wake up every morning and you're fearful of your business, you're fearful of the market, you're fearful of the words you say, you're fearful to pick up the phone, then there's a damn good chance that belief in your business, the belief that your clients are going to place in you isn't going to be there. And you're going to wake up and you're going to continue to be nervous and scared and frustrated. If I learned anything from Gary's 10 bold truths, it was that, is that where fear exists, belief cannot. So rising up from that standpoint. Did you guys meet anybody or have any side conversations that you felt, you talked a little bit about the woman that we had met. Mal, how about for you? Anybody that you met that you had conversations with that kind of stood out?
Yeah, I met a lady, her name is Lissy. She's from California, and I think we have commonality because she's really into investments, and I'm trying to grow my investment portfolios. And I think that the way how she used commands integrating to her investments, so I thought that was amazing. I'm actually having a Zoom meeting with her tomorrow to talk further about her investment plans and how she, kind of structure, and her system and protocols. And I think she's just amazing. And I'm very fascinated by creative financing, and that's what she does. She does subject to, and so I think that she stood out and she does it above and beyond. And she have over 30 units in her investment portfolio, and these are single families.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and she did this in like 5 years, and that is even more amazing. So like Nick said, learn from the best and the person who actually is a creator.
Here, Mal, thank you so much. Here's the other thing, guys, that I find that I love about Family Reunion, and most specifically this one, because I was introduced, Rico brought me along to a couple of his meetups, people that are doing things around the country, right? Investors that are doing some things, hard money people that are doing some things. Here's what I really realized, and Mao, you drove it home there, is the most incredible thing about Family Reunion and why we call it that is because this is an opportunity for us to level up with people that aren't in our market, that are doing things that we might not even have been exposed to, and they're willing to sit down at a couch in the middle of the convention space, a restaurant, a bar, a dice table, or a blackjack table, a dice table. This is the difference, is when you want to level up. And when I looked around, right, the people I was meeting were all doing more business than the conversation that these were people that were legitimately embedded in. And that's the thing, guys, is they were willing to share it. Create community around the country, right? We've got younger people, we've got older people, right? We've got different people that look different. There are places that you can go in Family Reunion to create an impact to bring back to your business, right? There's a fit community, right? There's a clarity community, which is a sober community, right? There are a lot of communities that Keller Williams has done. Why do we formulate community, do you think? To be around like-minded people, but to also level up, right? When you start seeing other people that look like you or feel like you are in the same position as you, when you see them start leveling up, you want to wonder how they got there. You want to be a part of that. I've been lucky enough to have such we use the word robust, that's extra. A significant number of people that I've met over the course of 16 family reunions, that I'm running into people always. And we're, hey, how's business? And what's Greenville, South Carolina like? And hey, I've got a referral, or hey, I might have a referral, right? Those are the conversations that we're having. Was sitting there with me, and we had a conversation about a commercial referral with Amber Lane. Chad's not in here, right? There was somebody that was having, and they connected right away. And now that person is gonna be able to serve that. And it was like nothing else, right? That was the guest that we brought as a commercial deal that he's gonna refer to him, right? So that's the conversation that I'm having, is sometimes when we get stuck in this room, right? Sometimes we get stuck in here where it feels like this is the whole world. This is our world. I don't want that to be the case, but you came here for a reason. And if you're not taking advantage of listening to somebody that is significant, one of the smartest people ever to exist in our industry, it's interesting that people don't take that and use that to help their clients out, right? To be able to give resource perspective is the #1 opportunity for us. And if you're not, who you are in business with matters. So if you're getting that information from CNBC, that could be good information, but it might be tilted one way. When it's coming from Gary, when it's coming from Jason Abrams, when it's coming from Ruben Gonzalez, who's that information for? And who has it been created for? Say it, wow. You can say me, it's been created for you, right? It's been created so you don't feel like you have to go out there and fight that fight by yourself. And that's what I'm finding. When I talked to a group at one of the classes that I went to that was talking about calls, is the TCPA requirement changes. You and I have a conversation about that. I got some information. There's an opportunity right now, if you're not making dials, you still have to abide the TCPA, you still have to make sure you're not calling people on the do not call list, but you still have an opportunity right now. And when I met with these teams that are expanding their business, you have a couple of choices, right? Farming, as we talked about, right? Creating different groups of people in your life, but also, who are you calling? How do you expand your business? If you're a newer agent and you don't have a significant referral network yet, you don't have a significant number of people in your database, how are you going to grow that database? Todd this morning and I on our call this morning, we talked about ways that used to work for us. I'm not kidding, going to the mall with your business card. How many of you want to be that person? You could say no. What's that? You do, right? Some of us are going to fight that in our head. Well, what I do, I'm just going to be like the lotion guys, right? That are like, have some lotion, right? And here's my point, is you don't have to just do that, right? You can go to we used to go downtown to the Skyway, the professionals, and have conversations with them, right? There are always going to be opportunities for you to have conversations. It's just whether or not the willingness, your drunk monkey, what do we call it now? Call it something different.
Yeah, it's not the drunk.
Yeah, that was your limiting beliefs, right? The drunk monkey seems so much better because we all have that voice in our ear that says, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, nobody likes you, you're gonna suck at this job, right? But putting that person into their place and then telling them what you're gonna do to move forward in your business, right? Putting that drunk monkey to sleep so that you can focus on the things that are actually working. And here's why. We know that when it's working, right? You can see that growth, you can see those additional connections. A question for you, why don't you guys ask some questions? What would make it so that next year you would make family reunion a must? It's in Atlanta, by the way.
Well, I would say there was a lot of agents that even came that didn't even pay for the family reunion. They just came to network and talk to agents. So if you don't got the money to pay for family reunion, you can still come, stay in the hotel where everybody's staying and just network. Bring your business card or your little like scanner on your phone and just network with people and just talk. You don't have to go to the class or nothing to get information. Like the most information I got was literally just gambling while I'm talking to other people at the table. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, we're all here. It's literally 6 realtors at blackjack. We're all losing together. What can help us make some money instead of losing?
LobbyCon, we call it LobbyCon, right? Where you come and you participate and you have conversations. We had a number of agents that were there this year that we know from the market that also had that conversation. And the reality is it does give you a bit of a break. It gets you outside of your norm. It causes you to question, oh, wait, this person is doing this and this person is doing this, and they're finding success with that. But any questions that you guys have to ask? Again, my question to you is, what would prevent you from not coming to family reunion next year? I won't look at anybody directly in the eye, I'll just stand over them. Ivan, go ahead.
I was just wondering, do you guys have mentors, like
Me? Yeah, Nick. No, Nick and Caleb, I got, he's with another company, but he does 70-80 transactions. So people that are doing stuff that I want to do is kind of who I want to align myself with. So he's doing 70-80 transactions. I want to do that too. So I might as well hang out with him or learn from him or whatever.
Dwayne, Moore from
Yeah.
Uptown.
Yeah.
Dwayne is an incredible salesperson and he's dialing all the time.
Mal, learn from Mal all the time.
You know, it's funny to me because, Mao, if I can call you out for a second. The way I see, this is from two high performers. When I watched our guest that was there, when I watched him, because I was with him for a couple of days, and watching what he does. Watching what Mao does. If you ever watch Mao, and I'm not saying be creepy about it, but if you ever watch Mao, she's kind of constantly on her phone. And not in a way that you're scrolling, but in a way that I watched our guest, Taylor Carlton, send 40 text messages one morning while he was participating in the conversation. Right? Hey, how's it going? We haven't talked in a while. Hey, you should hook up when I'm back in town. I'd love to tell you about this. He sent 40 of those messages the morning that we sat next to each other. The next morning I saw him doing it again. When I sit next to Mao, when I sit next to Jen, right? When you see high performers, oftentimes they're leveraging those moments that I'm like, I'll go back to my office and get prepared to make the call. They're just sending text messages and connecting with people, right? So that is definitely something I picked up by watching some of the high performers, including at some of the tables. I watched one of the biggest agents that I know in the entire country sit at a craps table and back off once they put her bet down and send text messages to people. Just connecting, right? You asked about mentors. Are you asking about mentors while we're there at family reunion or in general?
just in general?
So one of the things that I would say is find your mentor. Reach out to somebody that you like. I want my business, like Rico said. Find those people in your life that can help you level up through that chaos so that you know who's your next mentor, right?
It doesn't have to be someone in real estate.
No.
Yeah, I would highly encourage you to choose someone that you want to eat, breathe, and act, right? That's how you choose a mentor, because what if they are knowledgeable and they're snobby, right? But choose somebody that you want to speak like them, walk like them, dress like them, because I think they gonna be a very good inspirational for you to, like, level up to. But yeah, always have a mentor. I have mentors all around, everybody, Lynn, everybody who's, our colleagues, our peers, they're all like mentors to me. I highly encourage you guys to join groups, right? Like right now I'm with the Keller Williams Wealth, where it's a group of people who we just learn about wealth, credit card stackings to investments, to how do you use your IUL to do investments and all that stuff. So surround yourself with people who are like-minded. And then there are a whole bunch of groups. If you go to Facebook and just look up those groups, we have a Keller Williams running groups. If you like to run, that's part of it.
I definitely showed up for that one.
So yeah, so like, just be actively involved, and there's a lot of great groups, and then we have the MAPS coaching. I used to be a part of that, and I think some of the people are still being part of that too.
So I leave you with our panel to say, if you're stuck, if you're unstuck, if you're looking for that next rung, if you're looking for a moment of reprieve, to be around people in real estate, to just kind of be around people in real estate, right? This is an opportunity. Next year, like I said, we're in Atlanta. If you've never been to Atlanta, that could be fun as well. In addition to the reality that there's probably going to be a bit more people there next year, just because they were sick of Vegas for 2 years in a row. That was the response that I got. So next year, you guys, make it. If you want to get all you can out of being here, take the time to come to family reunion and spend some time with people that will help you come back fully charged and with some opportunity that you might not have otherwise had. The other thing is, I will be posting, Sean, obviously myself and Emmy, will be posting some things as they come out. Take a minute to watch them. Take a minute to pay attention to the vision speech, right? The other thing I'll leave you with is this. and this is gonna be an unpopular opinion. We don't know exactly what it's gonna look like this coming year, but, most years I have left before or left the day of the vision speak or the inspirational brunch event. I was reminded of why we didn't skip it again this year. I cried 3 times that morning. So did pretty much everybody else that was in the room. The thing that I think you guys, that I'll leave this is that there's no other company like ours, and that, as it pertains to specifically this. A lot of companies have tech, are we right? A lot of companies have some sort of rev share, profit share, fraud share, whatever that looks like, right? That makes us a great company. That makes us a good company. What makes us a great company, you guys, is that if you listen to Mo, if you listen to Mark Willis, if you participated in this at all, the thing that separates us is we really do care and we put our money where our mouth is. We're raising money for KW Cares. Some of us are giving money from KW Cares out of our chest or out of each clothing, right? Some of us are giving one-time donations when there is need. What I saw is a group of people that came together in North Carolina for some incredibly in need people in California, right? When there is a need, what I found the most incredible, you guys, is, do you know, this is no bullshit. We had our truck with 600 or 554 generators. We had that driving into Asheville, North Carolina before FEMA got there. There are a lot of real estate companies that you could choose to be in business with. Not one of those other companies showed up that day to help people out where they live, to make sure they have generators. And that's because of you guys, honestly, right? That's because that you guys believe in this. So when other companies approach you and they want to talk about what they can offer you, the conversation I would ask is, what are they actually doing for people in their community? Are they the first ones to show up, or are they the first ones with their hand out? I know we bang on you guys a lot about KW Cares and about donating and about helping, but there's going to be a time in our market where something dramatic, drastic happens. And I'd love to know that we work for a company that is dead set on helping out. I watched them give away just that morning. This was money that they were giving away, right? That Gary gave somebody 10 grand that morning. That we gave $50,000 to somebody who had taken over, who was setting up a charitable organization to serve these people. Watch a team leader, not a team leader, but a team owner, to watch the fact that his admin died in a tragic accident, and he took over raising her 2 boys because he was the only person happy, right? It was, show up for that. The education is incredible, you guys. But the reason we're here is also because we actually care, and because we're putting forth every single day a community effort to let other people know that we are different, because we do care and because we're going to spend our money there. So I implore you, I wish that every one of you could find it in your budget and find it in your business plan to come. Not because it appeases me or I get anything out of it, but because when I see you leave, when I see them leave and I have conversations with them and the other people that were there, I see a dramatic connection to their business and to what we're trying to do. So thank you, Mao. Thank you, Rico. I appreciate y'all. Oh, this is gonna be a hoot. Have y'all done this before, right? Y'all have done this before, right? Cool. So in a minute. Repeat.
Yeah. Provide protection.
Do I need to get anything? Do I need to get anything?
No. We have. We're gonna move, Victoria over to like brand.
All right, so separate up and get your swaps. Does anybody have Kahoot on their phone already? So download Kahoot real quick.
One person.
And then bring it through. The one person on your team is downloading it.
Figure it out.
All right, guys. I can, I will right now.
I've done this before, I just didn't have this.
When you be able to download.
Because I don't want any more apps. But how?
You guys got it over here?
Is it Katie? I don't want. I got it. Jeez. Getting it.
No, I
What am I doing, personal?
Right. We all have to download it.
Child.
Yeah, we'll try to set it up. All right, so we're trying to set it up.
How so rude.
So the reason I'm going to do this while you guys are doing, we're gonna do this, MREA business. What we, the foundation of what we believe is gonna make your business successful. And if you don't know the MREA, then it's our responsibility to help you understand, right? So, you're gonna get after this.
How do we find each other?
There are people on this spot. All right, anybody yet?
No, how do we find each other?
What's that?
We're supposed to be.
Is there, something they scan so they get into that graph? Yeah, oh, it's gonna give it to you, okay.
I think that's me.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Shut it down. Get it right there. It's gonna be with a pin, and you'll enter the pin.
I think that's the.
Or scan that code.
So we each scan their.
No, one person. The person that's gonna enter the information, only one person per team. Yeah.
Good thing there's not.
All right, we ready? This was 56 team leaders in Austin.
Okay, so I can delete. No.
I thought it was all by.
Questions and we'll.
Are you guys ready? Here's what we're gonna watch. We're gonna get the accuracy and timing.
You got
On your mark, get set, go. Hold on.
No. Wait, Jeannie was on it by accident, so we had 2 people on it on our team.
Okay.
And we have the 13 on.
All right, you guys go watch this. Gotta fill it out. You're in, you're in.
I don't think Todd's team is.
What else? Listen.
Never.
I do.
Where do I say?
Oh, wait, wait, what do we? Oh, it did. Oh, blue. Oh, that's. Okay, so.
I'm sorry.
You just.
So look up there and say.
And then we'll just log it on us. Fast Hold the numbers. All right. They did.
Alright, we got this blue team, or this two over here is, these listing labyrinth. And the answer is.
We talked.
Oh, wait, Winky's still up.
I'm trying to get rid of it. Hold on, get rid of it.
There should be one.
Oh, I did the, yeah, no, I've done this so many times.
Okay, gotcha.
So I-
They probably have to like.
1, 2, 3,
Uno, dos.
there we go.
But we're Rufus.
All right, put them down the five. Here we go.
Wait, wait a minute, what is more?
I don't know.
Four is three. No, I didn't know.
It's progress.
Now.
Sorry.
He should be gone.
Not around. Here.
All right.
Don't know how to get it up.
We don't need it around.
All right, all right. Right now.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Let's go, here we go.
I'm gonna get on this with me.
I did. Let's give it another go. Great. Four. Choose what color? Four. Oh, right, the next. So, culture database. Read it every day. It's crazy. Guys, for the earlier.
Any questions are,
What is the MVP? stand for? MVP.
Got it, guys.
all right, group 1 and group 3.
Why is
I think that's not bad.
Oh, yeah. All right. All right.
Oh, you're too fast.
Hires, take order. Admin.
It has to be.
Hold on, before you do this. Whatever the answer.
I didn't realize that.
I got it. All right, here we go. What's the correct economic model split?
Very hard. You think 30% is impossible.
If you were betting, you wanted to. 40, 30.
Yeah,
Correct, we got it, got it.
Could be.
We got it.
You got it.
We're fired.
What's your plan? All right, get in here. Here we go.
Finish the grade.
It is a 1.
It's in the corner.
Get answered. This is, so the. Quantity? Oh, no, I mean, you have to be able to explain.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So the quality is the quantity.
Fun with that, guys, quality is in the quantity, right? Because there are no uniforms, you just gotta make one. I can come back. All right, here we go. Very close to us. Will cost you, not.
Money.
It is.
Right?
But.
Can you tell me if I'm right or wrong? Incorrect.
Opportunity.
Right. So here's the. Yeah.
Critical is an example of one of the 5 key energy areas. Want to win your money? Work out. Yeah. Oh, you guys would be winning. That's fine, here we go. What is one major denominator between every MREA interview in the book?
The families all have real estate backgrounds, they all started their careers in real estate, they've all been in business for a long time, but they all have large teams.
No. No.
Business for long.
They've all been in business for a long time. Go to the back of the book, read it through all the different profiles.
Yeah.
We've done the same thing.
What are the 3 key hires of the MREA?
Buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, guys.
No.
There's only one.
It is. Yeah. No. I never. Oh, so we get our account on that? That's what I need. Oh my gosh, I don't. Oh, maybe we're going cold. Well, we were the only one.
How many more do we have?
My goodness. You need like last year. That's a change. Today.
Oh.
My gosh. What's the name of the company? 21st. Oh, there's another one.
Oh my God, double.
October 23rd.
Alright, well, that's not actually true. From grade.
However, there's meeting in this group, and next time we do this, we'll consider that. So that we can- And Todd is, Andrew's bonus.
User error.
All right, guys, listen. Brandon is back in here in 15 minutes teaching you about reverse mortgages. She has great, always brought one for us to go eat some lunch, come back in here and learn something new today, and also congratulate the E3, if you'd like to, on their victory.
And all. Time to use, have an MRA. Online day, 11:30.
Let's not invite you. You know.
Yeah, my kids went there.
Turn, I'm gonna wash the. Wait. I know. Oh, guys. Peter, we've been talking about this next. How many before? All right. We're gonna go up to Cloud Mountain and we're gonna have a bunch of good time. There's still a lot of stuff up there. And honestly, guys, just come out for a day, it's the afternoon, spend some time with us and hang out. And don't break it, okay?
What?
Otherwise, Peter can help you if you fall.
That's the first. I know.
Think to get something from.